Snow. Trust me. Okay. Snow, give me a countdown, and I will start, and you can hit record whenever you're ready. Welcome to Branwyn Emerald's How to Run a Korean Roleplay Sim class. This class is not structured. I have not even made any notes. Consequently, it's going to ramble all over the place, and hopefully some people will make some notes for me and will at some point turn it into an actual class. To give you some background, I have been running Korean Second Life roleplay sims only for about 2.5 years. I currently manage and help to manage the Tormarkfell cluster, which is a cluster of 13 Torvalds Land roleplay sims, all co-joined. I have been running online roleplay community since 2002, primarily in Ultima Online, though in other venues. This is my opinion on how you need to run a sim. I'm going to re-emphasize it is my opinion. I tend to be extremely opinionated, so I'm sure people that are listening to this are going to argue with me as to whether or not they would run things that way or some other way. That's not my problem. If you don't like what I have to say, feel free to hit the stop button or teleport off sim. Number one, you cannot make money running a Korean roleplay sim. I don't care what you're doing, how you're doing it, or what you have in mind. The chance that you will actually make any kind of profit, more than buying yourself a cup of coffee once a day, is not going to happen. Do not get into owning a sim, even a homestead, at its $100, $125, $150 bucks a month. If you are not planning on funding the entire cost of the sim yourself, at some point, over time, within a year, you'll get donations, you may get some financial support, but at the end of the day, the entire commitment is going to be on you and or your significant other. I suggest that your significant other actually be someone that is actually your significant other, not some partner in Second Life. The amount of times that I've seen sims break up because financial supporters quit or gave up is huge. All the responsibility is on one person. You have to be expected to pay all of that. Okay, that's the basic. Second thing, Korean roleplay sims and their success are directly relevant to a cult of personality. If you as a person are not the type of person that naturally attracts friends and role players to you and around you by breathing, you are not going to have a successful sim, for the most part. Roleplay sims, specifically Korean roleplay sims, but all roleplay sims are, at the beginning and the end of the day, cults of personality. Your personality will drive your sim, its style, its success. Not going to happen. If you are not a charismatic, outgoing, successful role player, you are not going to have a successful sim. Now, what is a successful sim? Everybody is going to have a different definition as to what a successful sim is. A lot of people are going to say, I don't care about quantity, all I want is quality. You know, people who just want traffic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm competitive. Okay, I am a competitive individual, and for me, I like to be able to measure my sex by numbers, and for me, it's about traffic. Why is it about traffic? It is primarily about traffic because, hold on a second, Hey, Odie, I'm teaching a class. Can I call you back? Bye-bye. Sorry, that was Coyote, Ulrich. Okay? I measure it by traffic, which means on a homestead, if you are getting between 8, 9, and 10,000 traffic, you are successful. If you are running a full sim and you are getting over 20,000 or 20,000 on average, you are successful. Why is it about traffic? Everybody wants to have quality, not quantity. Here's the end of the day why it's important. Role players, okay? Role players are very vain. Role players like an audience. If there is not enough of an audience for your role players, they don't want to role play. You need enough people on your sim that your role players have someone to role play to. So, at the end of the day, you need traffic because your role players want an audience. In addition, it gets a little boring. There are some really great role play that goes on with 1, 2, or 3 people. And fantastic role play. But at the end of the day, that's going to last a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then one person's going to have extra work going on, okay, and they're going to be working overtime. And the other person's going to get the flu. And those 4 fantastic role players that were having a great time all by themselves, when they're down to 2, are going to get bored. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to leave your sim, and they're going to go find someone else to role play with. And if they have a good time somewhere else, they may forget to come back when the other 2 people's overtime and flu is finished. You need people on sim. That's why traffic is important. Okay? So, what's successful? What are we defining successful as? That is a homestead running between 8, 9, and 10,000 traffic, and a full sim that is running 17, 18, 19, 20, and over 20,000 traffic. That is successful. By the way, once you get to that number and you want to keep going past that, that's when real trouble starts. Let's talk about what happens for most people in the first 6 months of owning a sim. And this doesn't happen so much if you are part of a cluster. This is not as common if you're part of a cluster, because a cluster comes with its own reputation, its own draw factor. But if you're setting up a single sim, first off, your first 6 months are hell. You have no people. You might have your 5 or your 6 that you started with that told you it was a good idea that you all start your own sim, and how they were going to support you and they were going to be there for you and they would help you and they were here and blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you, a month or 2 months into that, those people are gone. And they're gone for a variety of reasons, none of which means that they were bad people. Okay? But they are not going to stay. If you start a sim, okay, an independent sim not connected to anybody, all right, and you start and you've got your 5 or 6 support, your best friends are going to help you, I promise you, with anywhere between 1 month and 3 months, they will be gone. Their money will not be there, their time will not be there, they will not be there. Okay? Not because they're mean, not because they're jerks, not because they bailed on you, but just because that's the way it happens. Then you will start trying to recruit. And you are going to start sending out recruiting notices over and over and over and over. And most of you are going to send out recruiting notices that look exactly like everyone else's recruiting notices. They're going to sound the same, they're going to look the same, they're going to advertise the same thing. You're going to offer free positions for first acts and second acts and slaver and this and that and the other thing. Okay? And you're going to send out the same recruiting notices. And no one is going to read them. Okay? And the people that do read them, you really don't want in the first place. 90% of the people that you are going to get on a new sim are the disenfranchised players that don't get along with anyone else, or they'd already be part of a successful role-play sim. You're going to get every problem child that has been asked to leave every other successful role-play sim right off the bat. Then you're going to get a lot of new players. And new players are phenomenal. I love new players, okay? We'll talk about new players in a little bit, okay? You know what, Ketter? You would think that unless they are leaving sim owners who are the problem children would be a good answer, but it's not, because successful players that know that they are good members of communities, when they leave a successful sim ran by problem child sim owners, they don't go to startup sims. They either start up their own sims or they go to another successful sim. They rarely go to a new startup sim. And what is going to happen on your new startup sim, you're going to have no traffic, you're going to have no draw, okay? And unless you are going to be on your sim and you are the cult of personality, you're going to have a hard time recruiting. And what's going to happen is people are going to flood into your sim and they are going to tell you they can help you. I know how to do this. I ran this sim. I ran that sim. I've done this. I've done that. I can help you with this. If you just make me that. If you just listen to me, I'll tell you how to do this and we can get this all done. The truth of the matter is, those people are liars. Let me repeat that. Every new person that is going to come to your sim and tell you that they can help you, that they know how to do this, if you just listen to them, that we could have the best and most perfect Torby sim, we could have the best Panther sim, they know how to build, they know how to do classes, they know how to recruit players, they know how to teach people. Every single person who has come to your brand new RP sim, okay, is a liar. If they actually knew what they were doing and they were actually successful at it, they would already be doing it. These are people that think they know how to do it and don't. Even the people that said, oh, I used to own, Pickles Fjord last year, and, I've owned a Torby sim before, and I know how to run this kind of, I used to own Tesla, and I used to own this, and I used to own that. At the end of the day, do you know how many sims come up and go down, come up and go down, come up and go down? The fact that you were able to spend money to put a sim together and put buildings on it and failed running that sim does not qualify you to help me run my sim. You failed. You know who I want to help me run my sims? The people that are running sims with 20+K traffic right now. So let me tell you, when Galahad says to me, I have an idea, I go, all right, baby, let's sit down and talk. Galahad's been running successful sims, and still runs one today, over 20,000. And when I say to Galahad, I have an idea, he goes, let me hear it, baby. Okay, because what we are doing is we know what we're doing. We're running successful sims today. Yes, there are a small percentage of sim owners that used to run very successful sims for 2 or 3 or 4 years and finally just went, okay, I'm done. Okay? But let me tell you, out of the 100 that will try and tell you they know what you're doing, the chance that you find the one that actually does know what they're doing is really rare. Okay? And if you hear about them and they say, blah, 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 okay, we have someone here who is a member of our community that is a successful sim owner and plays here and doesn't run her sim anymore. Okay? That's great. Okay? She's rare. Most people do not know how to do it. So, let's talk about time and let's talk about traffic. traffic, 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 traffic. If you want 10,000 traffic on your sim, do you have any idea how many hours your main personality individual needs to be on that sim? 10 hours a day. You want 5,000? You need to be on no less than 5 hours a day. And I don't mean sitting on your sim. I mean standing at your docks, role-playing day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out with everybody who comes. Hey, Layla. The amount of time that you need to spend on your sim to get to that 8, 9, or 10,000 on a sim is equivalent to the amount of hours you need to spend on that sim. I am on sim from 8 a.m. SL to 11 p.m. SL. I am on in excess of 12 or 13 hours a day, and I talk to my players day in and day out, day in and day out. And I could double my traffic if I could delegate the work and just role play, because I'm a cult of personality. I always attract role players. I have my whole life. I've been doing this for 11 years now. Okay? It's amount of time. The time is unbelievable. So, anybody have any quick questions on these basic premises? Okay? You need to pay for your own sims. Go ahead. If you raise your hand if you have any questions. You need to be prepared to pay for your own sim. You need to be prepared not to get any help. And you need to be prepared for the fact that any help that you are offered when you are new is actually not any help. Hold on. That was sneeze time. All right. No questions. You understand all this. You've put your money aside. You have the time. That was a sneeze. You're prepared to put the time in. You're a cult of personality. You've got your money. You understand you're not going to get any help, and you're going to suck it up for the 6 months necessary till you've got something that you're going to start attracting realistic players. What are the other things that you need to do to build a successful sim? What else is out there? I'm going to start with telling you to stop following the pattern that every other grand sim is following. Then I'm going to tell you, stop redesigning the wheel. These two concepts sound, I'm going to be all over the top builds, up, down, left, and right, getting names, checking items, checking builds, checking all of this. And you know what I'm going to find more often than not? You know who's going to be the creator on almost everything you're looking for? The sim owner themselves. The sim owner themselves. That brings us to the second point. Do not let anyone build your sim or have your core buildings down on your sim except you. Because the minute they quit Second Life, you know what happens to your build? Someone just pulled their cock out, stroked it, and came in your face. Which is kind of hot, but not as a sim owner. Everybody said to me when I started going, everybody started saying to me, I can build for you, I can build for you, can I put down this chore, can I put down that chore, can I put down this chore? And at first I thought, well, that sounds like a great idea. No, you don't want help. Because while it sounds like help, at the end of the day when you have to move your sim, which we just did, all 13 of them, you get screwed. No, this is not directed specifically at you, Michael. I did the same thing because I had to go and return all of Kaylin's, all of our first girl's shit and all of Lena's stuff that was on my sim, and I'm never getting it again, and had to send Pippin around making a list of what I had to buy and replace, including half of my fucking infirmary. Okay? Don't do it. Exactly. Don't do it. I'm the exception. If anybody actually has a sim in the Tormark Fell and you have my stuff down, that's not a problem, because at the end of the day, if I quit, the whole cluster's falling apart. But don't have anybody else do it. Trust me, I'm not quitting. If I did, we're all losing our sims. So, and it's actually better for me, because when you stop paying for your sim, I don't have to rebuild it to sell it to the next person. So, just keep that in mind. I'm not the problem. Everybody else is. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Not after the multi-$1,000 that was just paid to reset this up by our benefactor known as Bob. All right, so please, okay, keep that in mind. And the point about all of this is, okay, look about, oh yeah, we should save a lot. Look at all of the point of all of this is stop redesigning the wheel when you go to build your sim. I'm going to pick on someone, actually I think only their bond is here. I was watching someone put down a script gate on one of our new sims. And the script gate that they put down was like 9 or 10 prims for a script gate. And it was very narrow. And you had to actually walk through the script gate, right? And it looked like this Stargate frame. And I'm watching them put the script gate down, which is only about 3 meters wide and about 9 prims. And I'm going, what's that? And they're trying to explain to me it's a script gate. Now, please keep in mind that I have about 15 fucking script gates all over this sim. So the fact that somebody's explaining to me in my own cluster what a script gate is made me want to reach out and rattle them. But that's only because I've been working 12 to 15 hours a day. Let me continue. So I said, don't you think that's a little, a little too Stargate-ish? And they said, no, watch, no big deal. I can make it invisible. So they made the gate invisible. I went, okay, I get that. Here's my question. If it's invisible and the frame's not there, how are you going to get people to walk through it? How do they know that it's there? Oh, well, it's just an encouragement. And I'm going, hold on a minute. If it's just that one little line there, yes, Greta knows who I'm picking on at the moment. Okay, it's just an encouragement, not a restriction. Well, how are they going to know which to walk through? And I'm just being explained about how cool this script gate thing was. And so I go to my inventory and I went, hey, why don't you take this one prim script gate, which is actually just a hollow prim, and you can drop it around the entire landing area, and it's only one prim, and they can't walk out of the area without hitting it. Oh, that's great! I had no idea! I'm going, people, take some time to look around at what other people are doing. Do you know how I got the script gate that I have? I went over to Clearakiss when it was up, who was running an incredibly low script for the amount of people they had on, and I said, Anarch, that script gate you've got there, where do I get it? And he went, I have a copy right here in my pocket. Would you like one? And I went, yes, please. And I got a copy of the script gate. My point is, there are so many things out there that we who are experienced sim owners have already bought. And you can figure out what we're using simply by hitting right-click edit on the objects and looking at the creator. These stupid Moonshade tables that you see me using all over the place, do you know why I use them? Because nobody should be having a seat that is more than 0.001 script speed for an individual seat. These are 8 seats. These things run at a 0.009, lowest script speed possible, which is why little buggers are everywhere. It's not because I'm boring. It's not because I'm uncreative. It's because the script speed on these little fuckers is fantastic. So when I need tables, I just put them down. As Layla goes, holy shit, can I have a copy of the stupid Korean tables? Yes, Layla, you can. See exactly what she's doing? What's the speed on this? So, please, please look out of the... You can beat yours. Well, send me a damn copy, because I could use a better copy. And this is what happens. This is what sim owners do. They talk to each other. I got a lesson and a half in script speeds from Sweetie Dagger. Bless her little heart. And all of the things that she can do with scripts. And she spent time with me. That's because we trade off and we have a relationship with each other. But Sweetie is really fantastic. Other sim owners will help you. The truth of the matter is they're not going to help the newbies. This is the other problem. If you're a brand new sim owner and you have just put up your new sim and you do not know people and you do not have a relationship in this community with other sim owners at our level, and I hate level because it sounds snobby, aren't going to help you. Okay? We're not going to help you for two reasons. Number one, we don't have time. Number two, you're the competition. Any questions on that? So please, when you go to build your sim, okay, don't reinvent the wheel. Take some time to educate yourself. The people that have chosen to build sims and are running successful sims have made choices for reasons. I don't have these stupid tables down just because I like them. Now, here comes the next thing. After we're done with the don't reinvent the wheel, could we all start thinking out of the box? How many people are going to put sims up and are going to repeat this tried and boring issue? Note card. Does everybody know how we feel about note cards? We love note cards. Hate note cards. I land on a dock and I have a note card. And my note card explains how to raid my sim. And then it says, be green or be gone. Or some version of that. And I have to say to everyone who's putting up a sim that has been involved in the Korean community, if you, in Second Life, if you have not yet figured out how many goddamn different opinions there are on being Korean, you shouldn't be running a sim in the first place. Be Korean or be gone is about as useful as telling them, be a flying purple people eater, or be gone. I don't know what the fuck a flying purple people eater is. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how it has sex. I don't know how it gets married. I don't know what it wears. I don't know shit about it. All I know, it's a song. And that song, let me tell you, was ineffective in teaching me how to role play one. So, now, you've put up be Korean or be gone. And you know what happens next? This is my favorite thing. Somebody lands on your docks, and they're in Korean clothing. And they're role-playing like they're Korean. And someone on your sim, maybe even yourself, interacts with this individual, often only by camming, because they don't bother to go down and actually role-play with them. They cam over and they go, oh my God, did you see what that person was wearing? Oh, they call that a camask. That doesn't look like a kirtle to me. Did you see them kneeling? Oh my God, can't believe that they're not Korean. I'm going, motherfucker. These poor son of a bitches, okay, get up on Marketplace, okay, and they look for the word kirtle, and they type curdle in, and there's about 30,000 things listed that says that it's a curdle. And these people spend money doing their damned best to buy a curdle. It's not their fault that the vendors don't know what the hell a curdle is, okay? You need to educate them, or you need to provide them with a free curdle. And that's what I'm talking about. It's about education, okay? It's about communication. You cannot expect someone to role play on your sim and be Korean if you actually have a stick up your ass about what that is. Okay? I'm going to give you two examples. One, I'm teasing someone who's not currently in the room to give you an example. One of my players, who happens to be one of my instructors, Taralf, is a great guy, and he knows his fiction. I mean, he is really, really educated in his fiction, and yet he got confused. On Marketplace, someone had a white tarn listed as an Arctic tarn, and I had to explain to him there was no such thing as Arctic tarns. Yes, there are tarns that have flown as far north as Axe Glacier, but being white is not a separate breed, nor does it make them Arctic, nor does it mean only those that are white can fly above the Torvaldsberg, okay? Nor are they albino, they're just white. They're not Arctic, they're just white. It's just a naming. It's not polar. It's just a white tarn, okay? And here we have slaves, okay? You want to recruit bonds, Kajira, thralls, blah, 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 okay? You want to recruit slaves. And this is how this process goes when you're new. Some slave lands on your sim who is unowned. Well, first off, we've now already screwed with fiction. There's no such thing as unowned slaves, but it is what it is in Second Life. And they land on your sim, and you're up trying to handle 4,365,000 things, everywhere from terraforming to texture adjusting to answering a question to handing out an application to setting up the group and everything else that you possibly could be doing while you're trying to get the people that you just recruited in and set up, because you know what, at the end of the day, they're only going to leave in 2 weeks anyway and tell you how much you suck, because really that's what you want to do, is you want to work for all these new people that came in. And some new slave lands on your docks. And do you know what she wants from you? Not an application. She wants you to stop what you're doing and go down there and role play with her personally and give her a collar, a branding, and an exam. And she wants that all right now because she wants to join. Now, please remember, she's not left the docks yet, because you forgot to put out an observer tag. So, she wants all of that right off the bat. She wants all of this personal role play right the hell now. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to give her all that role play, and 3 days later, you're not going to ever see her again. So you've now just wasted a great deal of time. So, you say, we need an overseer. We need a slaver, okay? Because that's what everybody needs, right? I mean, that's what you do in a Korean sim. You get a slaver to take care of your slaves. Because what you really want them to do is process new slaves. Well, except half of the slavers out there, the only reason they're slavers is because they want to fur the slaves they already have, not actually bring new players in. Or they really just want the title, okay, and they don't actually want to do the work, because their idea of being a slaver is walking around and sounding cool. And what you really want them to do is stand on the fucking docks. And when a new girl comes in, you want them to collar and brand and get them an exam and keep them on your sim. Not that they're going to stay anyway. By the way, every slaver is going to tell you exactly how cool they are and how much they can help you, and they'll be gone in a month anyway. So here's what you do, Okay? After you go through this experience for about 2 months, you, the sim owner, start blaming the slaver. Then you start blaming the slaves. I've heard it all. It's, I can't find a decent slaver. All these slaves are princesses. And you start bitching at this slave and that slaver and this slave and that slaver. And nobody stops and goes, you know what? This entire process is kind of fucked up. There's got to be a better way. And you don't stop and you don't go, is there another way? Is somebody else doing this some other way that might actually be working? Okay? And you don't go around to other successful sims and you go, clearly you must be bringing in unowned slaves at floods. How do you process them? How do you keep your slavers? How do you do this? You don't go and ask. I did. And someone said something to me. They said, this is how we do it. There's a cage over there, and if someone wants to be a slave, they have to go sit in the cage and wait. We normally make them wait about 2 or 3 hours before we send somebody over to do that. And right off the bat, oh, by the way, we tell them they have to strip and that they can't have their name. And then after about 2 or 3 hours, we go and we role play, because we figure if these poor dumb bitches will sit in the cage for 2 hours with no clothing and no name, they'll probably really want to be here. And we have some information around. And I went, holy shit, I should have had a V8! Why didn't I think of that? And I immediately rushed out and implemented it. And I'll tell you right now, I have no princesses, and I have no bad slavers, and I have 43 hall bonds. Now, here's the thing that drives me crazy, is when I turn to someone who is putting up a new sim and I say, you should really look at our slaver process. They never listen to me. And I'm going, you're bitching about the fact that all you get is princess slaves and your slavers suck, and you don't stop and think there might be a better way. It's called thinking out of the box. So when you are experiencing all of those things that you are going to experience in your first sim, and you start going, oh, about this and about that and about this and about that, go and find people that have actual solutions. How many people here really experience that, oh my God, they don't know anything about Torvald's Land, and doesn't have an immediate solution? Here's the website. Here's our new player quest. It's broken at the moment, but that was a great answer, right? That was, I couldn't get the information. I found out that I put so much information out there, people couldn't follow the information. So I made a quest to make it easier, and I got them up to speed even faster with a quest. I use an NPC, actually, slaver NPC. Runs you through a script, tells you what to do. It's totally scripted. Yes, anybody wants a copy of that, Quinn can help set you up with your own NPC scripted slaver. Okay? Quest is temporarily broke. We moved 13 sims. So, this is what I'm talking about. Stop repeating the same mistakes. If you're having a problem and you can't solve something, ask for help. Go look around. Figure out how people are doing it. Because if you truly want your sim to be successful, you need an education. And you cannot model it off other sims that have failed. Understood? Now, I'm going to breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's talk about codes of conduct. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's talk about codes of conduct. If you do not have a code of conduct for your players and your visitors, you might as well stick a hot poker in your eye. You need a code of conduct. I don't care what that code of conduct is. You need one. You need to have it written up, and you need to have it available. Tormark Fell has a code of conduct that is required for everyone, for every sim in our cluster. And you need to stick to your code of conduct. Because if you do not have a code of conduct, you will have to babysit everyone's opinion on what is acceptable behavior and what is not. And you will be sitting here going, oh my God, can't people just be nice to each other? The truth of the matter is, they can't just be nice to each other. All right? Unless it's a bannable offense to be mean or rude. At Tormark Fell, it's a bannable offense. Shocking how much little drama you have when you have a code of conduct that says that if you do not mind your manners, OOC, regardless of what it is, we will ban you. Does anybody here not believe me on the we will ban you? Trust me. You have to have a code of conduct and you have to stick to it. Now, here's the thing, Ram, that's a very valid point, but I can tell you, I can promise you, for every drama person you have, you will lose 10 prospective good members. Ban them immediately. Yep, all they do is run the good people out. Layla's absolutely right. Layla, what sim do you run? And why, if you're not running a sim, why aren't you? Ah, why is your sim not next to ours? I could use another sane, sensible sim owner. Okay, I don't even know who you are, but apparently you know who I am, so. Anything else that I can add? I have now been ranting for the last almost hour. I have a few more topics to rant on. But if anybody needs me to address or clarify anything before I start on some of the next topics, all right.